Hello. Good morning. Welcome to another ES Futures trading stream. Today is Thursday. It is September 4th. It is 11:34 Eastern Time in the US. The title of this stream remains as market south balance. It's the market is this market is not properly out of balance. If you check, or if we use the bar charts, okay? If we use monthly, weekly, and daily, they are not. The markets are in balance. It is in the intraday that these are balanced. The markets are getting out of balance. And there is a couple of interesting things. I hope you have been following. Yesterday we had something. We talked about something. Just give me a second, please. I need to answer something here. All right. There was, or there is something here in this market. Let me remove this thing. I have just closed this long because I was playing this 64.8. I usually I break my rule today. I do not trade in daily or zero expiration days options. But today I did that because I think the risk was low. I thought the risk was low. And the play was what we had yesterday here. What we had yesterday here was a short covering of this laggard traders trading that come in the second part of the day that were trying to bring the market lower. Completely out of context. The market had really strong support around this area, and this is just the area where this trading started to happen, right? And you can see it did not have downside continuation. It could not get through this, and as a consequence, at the end of the day, we have this short covering. In very similar fashion as we have the previous day, well, in this side. Very weird. It was very weird here. On what day was this? Tuesday, right? But still, the market has a spike at the close, little one, and most of the trading, if not all of trade, happened above the spike, which is an indication that the market is aiming to the upside, and the trade was to the downside. The thing is the market going to present an opportunity? Right? And I play yesterday. I play a trade aiming to volatility, based and in these numbers, what do we have? Based on the beige book, or I'm a play bus of the beige book, bringing some volatility around 2 p.m. It didn't happen, right? I closed the day with a loss, but my trade extended for a couple of hours. Right? I closed one positive and the other negative. A small loss there, right? Um, but that trade didn't allow me because I was actually playing that trade when this happened. It didn't allow me to see the action here. Again, once again, what happened here was super weird, very slow. Um, today, okay, today also my place was to the outside for a couple of reasons. Okay, one of the things that I am still following here is this 45 degree from Friday, right? Very question. But what happened? I also was playing that here during this day, and I closed with another loss here because I saw that happening. That kind of I expected some kind of action, and it didn't develop as fast as I thought was going to happen. Right? And I closed with a loss, limited loss as well. Um, but if I zoom out, you can see the trade developing here, right? Which is aiming to correct this 45 degree line, and probably, I mean, and then I was aiming. My trade was this 64.85 calls here, and aiming to take this high out, maybe with a spike. The original plan was to close around this area, but when I saw, okay, one of the main things that I needed is when monitoring the market was one of those things, right? Coming back, and by the way, it was really hard to stay on this one when you see the market actually going against you, right? What kept me in the trade is the tremendous blocks that were positioned here in this area, the 70, 61, something like that, holding the market yesterday. And the overnight happened, very prominent POC. And when that happened, when we have very prominent POCs, usually we are going to see markets coming back and forth from or through those references, which is what happened today, right? Very hard to stay. One thing that happened yesterday at the close is, and actually yesterday, I believe, it is my belief that trade actually was in Nasdaq, because the ES dragged the Nasdaq. Okay, everything was set in the ES, but the trade happened in Nasdaq, which is something I don't follow, right? And today was the opposite. I saw the Nasdaq, but Nasdaq actually, pulling, right, pushing the ES. But I exit, but this was actually a crash trade, but basically I exit when the market came down here, closed this distribution. And I say when the market closed this distribution, the next thing I say to myself, I want to get out of this one. And the first thing, or the first time, the next time the market gives me an opportunity, I will close, and I did, right? Do I think that the market has potential to the upside? I think so, right? It is, to me, it's aiming at 6,500, or maybe in this area between the 65 and 60, or 6,500 and 64.86, something like that, maybe in this area. Actually, this could be a trend day. This could be a very weak, from my point of view, it's very weak trend day. It has volume, right? It has better volume than yesterday, but the way how it's trading is what caused me, give me the reasons. I don't want to be part of this, right? Now, this market can rip to the upside, but this is my decision. I am in peace with that I'm going to be out of whatever movement may happen. If the market gives me an opportunity, maybe I may re-enter. Um, but one of the things that I have noticed during this week is that these movements downside to the upside is really have been really um, lacking confidence. I think that may change or can change tomorrow after non-farm payrolls, because when this happened, when the market trades in range, these are markets looking for more information, right? There have been a series of negative numbers that have been coming to the market, and um, the market is just disregarding that. And I think all eyes are set on tomorrow's non-farm payrolls, unemployment, unemployment number, right? Now, the next thing after I closed, I saw that trade actually going further, in almost getting in the money. Actually, yeah, it got into the money. Better profits, but I was not part of that, right? But this is one of the things that are key for trading. Is now one of the parts of trading is, this process of resetting, right? We observe, we are part of the observe. That's the first part of this business, or this job, we call it whatever you want to call it, the observation, right? Observation of the market. The next step is going to be planning. If I see something, right? Then come the execution part of the plan, the performance, plan, the evaluation, monitoring for continuation, and then comes the reset. Right? The trade is over, close it with a profit, with a loss, a break even, whatever. But it is very important to reset. Because while we are in the trade, what we are doing, we are actually performing. This is a highly competitive activity. And we have to perform. We have to be in the right state of mind, and we have to be physically in good state as well. Right? I cannot be here. One of my rules is, if I am tired, I don't do anything, even if I saw something. But both have to be okay. And during the execution phase, right, during the performance, we spend the energy, right, mental capital there, right. It is if the trade is good, I feel euphoric. If the trade is bad, I may feel sad. I may feel upset, and that's why it's very important to reset, right, to replenish energy, right? And that's what I did here. Right? The trade is over, got to reset here, and trying to replenish my mental capital that I spent here. And that will allow me to see, that's the idea, right? That's the theory that allow me to see if there is anything here, I can be part of whatever is happening. What allows me the close, right? If I close the trade, what that allows me to do, I can see the market now. I have no part in the market now, because I am not part of actively in the market. I may have this bias, right? When you have a trade, when you have a position, your view of the market is or can be different if you don't have a position. Then that's a bias, right? That's a bias. I don't know what's the name of that bias, but we tend to give more value to things when we have them, when we own them. Now, what I am watching here is after this distribution was closed, and actually the trade was, let me explain. I think this is important. At least it's important to me, and so I can have closure, right? That's what I do this stream. Um, Let me open this. This is what I was aiming, and this is why all my trades have been to the upside, coming down, and notice what happened. Huh? This is a selling that's coming, selling in this day, but every time the market sells, trades got less and less and less, sell less and less and less and less, all right? And this market finally breaks to the downside. The base is very weak here. It's absolutely weak, right? I thought that this correction could have been or could happen during this day, and the market sharp goes to the side with a big gap. Overnight there was a lot of inventory in the overnight, and let me show you that as well, which is here, and all of this, these are merge profiles. We have this is long inventory, this is short inventory, and this is long inventory, and this could have been the reason or the cause for the sharp, not the sharp, but for the action to the downside that we have at the opening, right? We have at the opening today. Now, while I was in the trade, it started to work out. It was tough, having this area taking out, especially stopping at zero. This low is, to me, is very questionable. We have not a good level here. Okay, but I expected something really fast here. Probably what happened yesterday is what have taken some of the steam out of this movement. Right? What happened here, right, is also was very slow, right? Has taken out the steam of this correction here, because I was playing something really fast, like in short coding fashion here. It's not happening like that. This is a trend day, right? It is a very questionable trend day. Probably, as I say, I mean at 6,500, and that was one of the questions when I saw the market taking this A high here. Market taking this A high here, right? A high here, and when the market came back and closed this distribution, which happens to be held-back, previous held-back, closes the next one as well, which also happens to be held-back. It's telling me who is behind this movement. I just, what? I don't want to be part of this. Okay, I don't want to be part of this. I may have because I think, or I believe at the time that the risk was has increased. Okay, the risk that I'm going to the odds that it's going to be a sharp upside movement have diminished, right? While at the same time, the odds of at the same time my risk has increased, and that's why I decided to close it. I don't want to be part of this. Now that's me, right? That's me. I am not suggesting you do this or you do that, right? Look at what's happening here now. All right. So this is a very, very weird, non-confident market. This has potential still to the upside. Okay? Now, these corrections from here doesn't have to happen today. In the same way as had happened here during this day, right? When the market had a huge gap, right? And the correction didn't happen that day. Same thing can happen here. You know? Look at all this inventory here, all this overnight here, and this one here as well. Right? Basically, this whole thing. Right? This is not a good market here. Now, let me bring you another thing. Right? We have a range here. Market has reached the range, the opposite side of the range. It can revisit the upper side. Right? You can revisit the upper side. We had a trend here, very questionable, and actually this high is actually not there because for some reason these charts are taking this day as a high, which is not. This market actually was here, right? This is a trend to the upside. Now, this is very misleading if you are using these daily charts here. All right? So, but still, even though I got those things, I just, and I think, all right, my positioning, I think I tried to upfront this movement, and my positioning was not that good, meaning that it could have been better. Now we have a trend day, lacking confidence. It doesn't mean it has to break. All right. Notice what's happening to value. Value was here. Where it is now. All right. It's moving higher. Nasdaq as well. Notice where value is or was. It was here. And where it is now? Up here, right? Has moving higher. And actually is higher than yesterday. Right? There was no reason to short the Nasdaq here. But those overnight profiles those counteractions can be very misleading, man. And when I exit my trade, if you remember during this period, there was a spike here. Boom, there was a spike, a really sharp spike, or quick movement here. And I said, okay, this is it. I think this is likely going to be a spike where most traders can take profits, and the odds that the market is going to keep higher, not the odds, but the risk has increased for me. Right? For me at least. One of the rules that I have is do the observations fields, and usually I don't do much early in the morning. But I thought that today there was one of those days that could have something could happen here, right? Something could happen here. It's not happening the way how I want it, but it is developing. Okay. Now let's bring this daily charts here. Let's check what's happening in the other markets. Bonds are high. I got higher. Bonds higher, interest rates are going lower, which is good for for the market. Really high parabolic move in gold, and this is something I really don't like, man. Crude oil being this, having this really low prices. We talk about this as well. That probably, this, you can place a trend line here. There could be some liquidation here. Let's check the intraday of this. Notice the firecracker effect potential happening here in this bonds here, right? And the market's coming back inside previous day. This looks like short covering with a little bit of upside extension. Same thing to the 30. What the other markets are doing? Breakout, the ES breakout. It's kind of like a stalling. The Nasdaq is stalling. Nasdaq had a chance to have something to the upside here. Russell is an inside day. The Dow is having a nice breakout here, nice breakout. But there's no sync. These indices are not in sync. ES and Dow are kind of like mimicking each other, but Nasdaq is just kind of like sluggish here. Now, what I am doing now is just checking now. Now we had a break. We have this day yesterday with the strong support here. This 61.62. We have another one here, 60. What is this? 65, 64.25. All right. Now, I want to see what happened tomorrow. If these markets have something to the downside, how the market does or react. Let me remove this around these areas here. Okay, because right now this one is is under correction, in my opinion. Right? We might be really close to the end of this movement. I'm not going to say it is the end. Maybe close. Oh, by the way, one of the things that another reason that I close my trade here is the way how I see how sluggish this movement was. Traders do what works until it doesn't work anymore. When traders, when you notice some certain behavior in markets, I will usually notice it on both sides, right? I thought that C was going to be probably, there were good odds. C was going to be, D, my bad. D was going to be the last leg of this movement, and that's what I thought. So I would rather close early than close trying to catch the last penny, the last tick of the movement. Now I'm just watching now. Okay. Overnight inventory has been corrected. The long weekend and overnight inventory is under correction now. Okay. Something that I am checking is, you know, what can happen here, man. Okay, we got this range here in the weekly. Okay, we got the look above and fail, right? Got look above and fail. It checks the lower side. It didn't take this low, okay, and now it's coming back to this. So now this level here, the 65 something, 65, which was a previous all-time high, that can be the potential or the ultimate destination of the current movement. Okay, what today? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I see a range here. Okay, I am observing this one now. No? If the market cannot take this one, that's another piece of information as well. Yeah. The trend remains, this is a bull market. There's nothing here to be pessimistic. News are all the news releases, most or a lot or a bunch of news that are coming are not positive. All the information that is negative. There are lack of workers, the lack of openings, work openings. Employment is rising. GDP is not moving as well. Probably going into extraction. But the thing is, the market. If I try to short the market, I can go broke, right? Before the correction happens. That's what trading is. We deal with uncertainty here. That's the business. That's part of the business. These lines here, this one, these are, I don't trade based on this. I put those ones here, to, when I notice, hey, wait a minute, there is something here, right? Okay, that's when I got this, for example. The market we have an inside bar, you have a breakout to the downside, and the market gives us an outside bar to the upside during this day. So also this is going to be taking high, really hard day here, and that's the things, right? Markets don't move in a straight up or straight down. And what I try to do, is catch, try to find out what the market is doing, figure out if I have good odds, or if the odds are in my favor, and try to do something with the inside movements, because I trade just during regular trading hours, and that's it. Right? I don't carry trades overnight. Okay. And this is the thing, right? Since I was trading options, I closed at 490. These options now are 570, call it 590, only 1 point. That's why I'm not cashing there, which is this, closing. I close it somewhere in here, and after all this period and this one, it's minimal. Right? The gains that can come out of that are minimal, and the risk is high, or was high for me. But that is just the way how I trade. Everyone has different plans, different strategies, different ways to see the market, and yours doesn't have to be mine. And I put this up here, or this stream, as a way to, to make myself accountable. Also, it's a way to journal my experience. And that is not for other people, but for myself. And that's why I put this out here. If it can be of help, I mean, I hope it is helpful for somebody. No, that's an extra. That's a plus. All right. If you have any questions, please just let me know. I am not going. We never say never, right? Right now, I don't think I'm going to do anything here. I'm just going to keep observing this market here. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to leave the stream up here. I hope I don't have any problems here with Sierra. Just to let you know if I see anything, I will just be ready to come back. Oh, what is this? Oh, okay. What the heck is? Oh, this is this value area here. Look at what's happening to Nasdaq, man. It's struggling here. If this market doesn't have upside continuation here, get to be very correct. This is not a bad. This is not a good high. It has a good low. Nasdaq has a good low. It has an excess. I don't know. I don't know what sailor was. Let's check sailor on Nasdaq. Huh. Oh, let's go settlements. I'm searching for Nasdaq. Okay, markets, console, E, mini Nasdaq 100. What the heck? And Q. Gosh, I can't find it. Okay. Nasdaq settled yesterday 23,448.75. Let's call it 23,449. 23,449. 23. It actually settled down here, man. Nasdaq has a good low, actually. Nasdaq has a good low. The story in the years is different. This is not good, man. And you can see these highs here, man. You know the thing, what happened here in the years last Friday, it is what's happening now in Nasdaq. So the correction of this action can get fuel from Nasdaq, actually, here. What I'm trying to say is there's no reason to look to the downside, or at least for now. One of the things that kills traders is, you can see a market's going higher, man. You can see this is trending higher. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 periods the market is going higher. They have a bad high there. 3, 4 highs that are good also. That's really low odds that's going to be the high of the day. Why short this market? Why? The fact that the action is very questionable. That's not no reason for me to short the market. It's not. That doesn't even give me a reason to make a decision. Okay, I am going to short the market. Because that comes actually before doing the trade. I make up my mind and do, okay, I'm going to be short. I want to be short in this market. That's when I make the decision. When I start to observe, remember the steps of trading, observation is, comes observe, okay, make up my mind. I can, I guess, that's what you observe to make educated guesses. I guess this is what's happening. Okay. So, but this is what I'm going to do. Based it on what? On this and this and this. I start to plan my trade. It's not always the market gives you a lot of time. Sometimes you have to execute or plan really fast. But another times is most of the time market gives you time. Right? I am not even at that step yet. And I am observing, I didn't make up my mind yet. All right, I didn't make up my mind. I'm just observing here. And many people, a lot of people don't like that. When you get to watch somebody, man, you want to see, okay, this guy is shorting like crazy. He's buying, selling. I want to do. I want somebody to tell me what to do, right? I just want to watch what he does and then follow through. This business is not like that. And actually, and I say multiple times, the fact that you are actually extreme, right? It starts to occupy space in your brain, in your mind, in your head. It uses resources from your brain. And when you're doing that, you are not focusing the market. That's why you will not usually see me doing something live, because it actually takes space. And I do this as a way, this is my way, and my way only. I do this as a way to reset, right? Sometimes, right now, I'm doing that to reset. And most of the time, I do it to focus while I am observing the market, or while I'm doing my homework, while I'm reviewing my homework. There were few occasions in which I placed a trade when I was alive. But what I do is I kind of like have or give a general idea of what my observation, what the market is doing, and what my observations are. Right? In that phase, in the observation phase, you got to be you got to be with the market. You have to be able to adapt to the market, right? Acknowledge the biases that I may have or we may have. I had a bias to the upside the whole week, man. Yeah? And that's useful, right? Because it allows me to see what my biases is or are. Okay, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna leave this one out. I mean, up. If you have any questions, please just let me know. Um, hi. I'm back here. I'm just wanna. Um, I'm going to call it a day here on the stream. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break here. I'm going to take a nap here. I kind of like feel tired. Right. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. Stay safe. See you tomorrow.